much detail in it. You can do it in any ship in a conflict zone, but the trick is to have very powerful weapons and the best shields and defensive modules, if you will. That's probably the biggest key there as far as your ship
Oh, thank you
goes.
for that, Aftershock. I'll have a look in a bit. What I will say as well is this a good thing that Ket's put in there? Ket said, don't fly without a rebuy, but don't you always get a rebuy, X?
Any ship you're in, there is a cost to replace it if it gets blown up. And so, yes, what Ketsu said is the truth. You really shouldn't go into a conflict zone knowing that the potential for you to die there is a high risk. You've got to have at least 2 or 3 rebuys, in my opinion.
So
Just
that,
as
but
back.
is that not going to have something to do with your actual money that you've got?
Yes, so if you look at your right-hand panel right now, 50, on the status tab.
It won't let me do it while I'm in frame shift, so bear with me, and I'll when I hit the next planet, I'll stay out of frame drive, and I know what you mean because at the bottom it shows you what your rebuy is.
Yeah, the
and I'll
bottom
explain
left-hand
that.
corner. Yep.
I'll explain that the way I know it, and you can correct me so that we're all
okay.
Right. So I'm going to go straight down for the moment and go right over. So what it's showing you guys is the balance that I have is 2.7 million. I then have a rebuy of 57,517 credits. Yes. Local bounty, that means I've got nobody after me, is normal, and my local reputation is it neutral? So that's what that stands for, guys.
Yes.
I did that right?
Yes, you did.
Wonderful, thank you.
So if your Cobra was to blow up right now,
it cost me
for some reason, it would cost you 57,517 credits to rebuy it and have it put back at the last station that you docked at.
And like what Ketsa says, depending on the level, you can get loans and help to rebuy.
That's true too. Yep. And you have to pay off those loans. There's no getting around that. You have to pay them back.
This one's for you, X. What if a new player keeps getting killed and can't afford a rebuy?
Well, probably the worst case scenario ever. You're pretty much forced back into a loner ship, which is the beginning ship called a Sidewinder.
Right. Okay. I think I've actually been there.
Yeah, a few of us have.
Yeah. I think we've got another question for you as well. My Jai. Oh, Tuplex. Oh, I haven't. Tuplex. Let me give him a round of applause. Tuplex is another guy that knows a lot about this game. Can you remember when we was in it last time?
So, yeah. So Tuplex is answering my J.
Yeah.
Have starting
Low-key, if new person keeps getting killed, get out of the open. Okay. You will always get Sidewinder. Okay, yeah, I understand that. At anyone's
that
time.
is
Cornish,
good advice, Tuplex.
There's one thing, come into rooms like this to learn. Look, do you know what? I'm so glad that X is on today. I am, because whenever I stream this, I love it when he's around, because he will hopefully answer all your questions. And then for X, he deserves a round of applause. He really does. He really does.
See that there's others in the chat that know quite a bit about the game too.
Tuplex,
so
I know Tuplex knows a lot. I know he knows a great deal because he was helping me last time. But
so
go on.
I like what Tuplex said there. When you jump into a conflict zone, if you want to earn credits, you do have to pick a side. There's one side or the other. And where you pick your side is on the Functions tab on the right-hand panel, by the way. It's at the top of the list.
Well, let me have a look at that when I come out of this. I'm just trying to fill up.
Okay.
I'll have a look at that one. Right, I'm not going to go into frame shift just yet. And I'm going to have a look at that one. Okay. So, which one's that under?
So, right-hand panel, the Functions tab, and it's at the top of the list.
Right, and it says function none, faction none.
Right.
So if I
That's the
click
one.
that, it's not letting me pick
If you're,
anything.
it won't let you do that now because you're nowhere near a conflict zone. But if you're in a conflict zone,
Yeah.
you will have two choices.
Right.
So you
Okay.
have to pick a side.
So that makes
Anyways,
sense.
that
That
takes
does
a
make a
little,
lot of sense.
yeah, and that takes a little bit of time too. So to add to what Tuplex said, when you drop out into a conflict zone,
Yeah.
kind of move away from the crowd, kind of find your own little corner to pick a side,
I'm
and
gonna.
then come back to the crowd.
Yeah. I want you to go into this what Ketz was saying, because I have the same feeling about this that Ketz has got. Yesterday I was playing it, and I was playing it offline. I was playing it personal. Okay. And what I
Uh-huh.
tend to find, what I found was, I explained this to you when we was on the phone as well, X. What I
Uh-huh.
didn't like was the fact that I was just doing a normal boom mission, okay? And
Okay.
it could have been the server that I was in, or the way I was playing it, that I got pulled out of frame shift and got blown up. Now, what Ketz is saying that he likes to do just normal exploring missions and things like that, because, you know, he doesn't want to do combat all the time.
Right. And that's okay. You
But
can do that in
the
this game and still
the one
earn
thing I question you on is, in this game, why is it then that somebody can just pull you out of frame shift and blow you up? Do you
Ah,
get what I mean now?
that's I do. We did talk about this
Yes, and
earlier.
I wanted to elaborate on that one, because for me, as the person that just wants to enjoy the game and do what he wants to do, I don't think
Yeah.
it's fair, because I'm not good at combat.
It's a tough combat's not for everybody,
Yeah.
but there are some tricks out there for somebody who's not into combat to avoid it. You just have to practice and get better at it.
Okay, and I can
So
understand that.
so let me just point this out. To interdict somebody, and that is the correct term, interdict,
Interdict.
you have to be in Super Cruise, which is what you're in right now before you jump to the next system.
Right.
And with this interdictor on board your ship, you have to be within a certain range of the ship in front of you. And then you can pull the trigger and it will grab a hold of their ship, and they have an opportunity to try to avoid that interdiction
Yeah.
or submit to it. And if they submit to it, then you both drop out into normal space, if you will.
So
No longer super cruise,
just
but
to question you
normal
there
space.
then. Just to question you. If
Okay.
I am travelling at my normal super cruise and they pull me out, because that's what happened, I actually got pulled out,
Yeah,
then that doesn't mean I submitted to it, does it?
that's correct. To
So,
submit,
yeah.
you need to drop your speed to 0.
Oh, and he'll, right, right, right.
Now, you can submit, drop your field as speed to 0, or you can fight it and try to keep. You get a little blue icon in the center of your screen, and you want to keep it there. And if you're successful at doing that, then the person that interdicted you will drop out and not you, so you can get away from them.
So, like Ketzer says, you follow an escape path to try to get away.
Yes.
Right, I'm on my last jump.
Ah, terrific.
And I did say if the chat was nice, it would take less than a minute, wouldn't it?
Yep, it went by fast.
And the chat has been absolutely brilliant, to be honest. Thank you, guys. That has been amazing.
So one of these days, we're going to have to get you fitted up with an interdictor so that you can actually try that.
All right, so Tuplex has just done something that I kind of understand. 50 plus. Always. Also, just gonna. Right now, I have to go. Let me just go and pick where I'm off to. Right, I need to slow down here because I need to work. What I haven't done is I haven't got my I'm in this destination, but I haven't got to the star.
Is it Cummings Port that you need to go to?
That's the one here. There we go. So what he said there to me is, I'm just going to get myself to the right speed, which is I'm going to approach at 75, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. So what he said there is, also always watch your 6 in Super Cruise or speed.
Absolutely.
What 6? What's that mean? Explain.
Well, if you're flying forwards, you're basically flying towards 12 o'clock. So that means 6 o'clock is behind you.
Right.
So watch your 6.
Well, the idea, yeah, I understand what you mean now. That's the great big bleeding circle thing right in front of you that I'm not paying attention to. I'm just thinking where he was going with that one. Local FSD to another system, in a system, FSD charge might take longer. I don't understand that one.
FSD. Oh, if I think I understand Loki, and if I do, what he's saying is, the ship that interdicts you.
Yeah.
Let's say it's an Anaconda. Okay, that ship's a lot bigger than a Cobra, right?
Okay.
So there's a lot of mass around that Anaconda, and that mass will keep you from charging up your FSD. You have to get
Right.
far away from that mass to not be mass locked.
Yeah. I understand. I'm learning so much.
And there is so much to learn.
I know that.
So you could be flying by a planet.
Yeah.
Any planet or star has mass. And if you're too close to it, it's going to mass lock you, and you have to get further away from it before you can actually jump.
Access granted. Please land on pad 2-1.
I'm not used to this now because normally I'd just say request docking. I'm going to have to spend another few hours sorting that out again. Wow.
Retrain yourself again, huh?
Yeah, well, it's not that. I think it's to do with, because I've got it installed through Steam. Last time when we did it, I was able to go into the program and copy the binds folders over. But I've put a new SSD in, and for some reason, it doesn't connect that way, but it does find the folder, but I can't see it. And what I've worked out now is that I can manually input them. Once I put the the binds folder, attach it to the I'm trying to remember the name, to the plugin. I can then remap them manually.
Okay.
And that's what I've been doing, you see.
Yeah.
But it's so difficult, where last time I just copied the binds folder over, and then when I says import my control settings, everything was there.
Cool.
But I turned it on this morning when I was using it yesterday, and it just didn't want to know. But never mind. Manual is always good.
Yep.
Manual is great. Manual keeps you on your toes. And like what you were saying to me, this is all red inside, isn't it? Which is the color of the faction, isn't it?
It's the color associated with the economy, high-tech economy. Now, what Ketsui's talking about there is a whole different way to play the game. Right now, you're in solo mode, right?
I think so, yeah.
You can play this game in open if you want. And so you're up against real players. And that's what Ketsui's talking about right there.
Well, yeah, and that side of it, I will get to that and understand it soon, won't I?
Hopefully later than sooner, because you still have a lot to learn.
Okay. Wow.
We need to. We haven't even got to the point where you can, where we can show you how to defend yourself and stuff. So that's combat. Right?
Well, I did some combat with you, if you remember.
Just a little bit, but
and
not
I did, and also